right. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. So hello and welcome everyone. So today we're going to be talking about staying away from the craft. Stay away from the craft. So my thing is you have to understand. I want to the biggest red flag. You have these, we're going to call them spiritual practitioners. These practitioners, these very gifted individuals. If you go to a practitioner and you are trying to intervene with somebody's free will, that is a big red flag. If that practitioner agrees to that, that is a very big red flag. That means that that practitioner is what you call a spiritual criminal, or they do not know the laws of the universe, and that's very dangerous. Just like the physical world, we have law and order to keep things civil and balanced within the world, even though we deal with a lot of corruption. There is a lot of corruption in which that takes place in the spiritual realm as well. And just like in the spiritual realm, you have universal laws. And ignorance of these laws is no excuse. You will not receive a pass. You will not receive mercy. To where in the world, sometimes, like let's say if you're speeding, you're doing 50 and a 30. Police officer pulls you over, they may give you a warning. Okay? The universe does not work like that. However, there are times to where the mystery of God will step in and you will find yourself or other individuals are getting like multiple chances of mercy. God is choosing to have mercy on these people. But that's all a part of a bigger picture, a bigger plan. Okay, so that kind of goes beyond worldly law and universal law. Okay, so if an individual will help you do something like that, they are aware they are some type of criminal, spiritual criminal, or they're not aware. And the thing is that you can get caught up into some serious issues. And the thing is that you think by doing it, playing around in spirit, because the spirit is the unseen, you think that doing this and playing around with it just because it is accessible to you, that you're not going to be found out or have some type of consequences. You're sadly mistaken. For one, you do not know what is protecting that person. Okay? And then it's kind of like, for two, if that person is not protected, but they are very gifted, they understand, they know, they see, and they send it back, and it backfires, well, then it backfires. You're going to experience that in some shape, form, or way. Sometimes individuals will go to a worker, a practitioner, and the practitioner wants to make sure that they are not lying. Because if an individual runs to a practitioner and says, this person is doing this and this person is doing that and they're doing this and doing that to me, and I need some protection. If that person goes in to protect you and you are lying, they're going to find out about that. You want to know how they're going to find out about that? Because the backlash is going to come on to them. When it comes to spirit work and the spells and all that stuff, it needs to be for healing. and it needs to be for protection. You cannot lie and say that somebody is doing something against you to have something done to them, and you're lying. Okay, so if you lie to the petitioner and it comes back on her, she has to put balance back into the situation to where she is given the go to do something to you, to do something back to you. And see, my thing is that a lot of people don't even get into this type of stuff or information. That's why they don't know a lot about it. They just decide that they're going to just jump in and play in it, and they have to learn very hard lessons. You are taking a gamble with your life when it comes to you playing in spell work. I am too a spiritual practitioner, and yes, there are things that I know, right? But my journey is a little different. I am what you call an eclectic learner. So I have had the privilege of being able to experience many different things, and therefore I have learned many different things. Okay? The reason why I was chosen to be introduced to some of this sacred knowledge and some of these hidden techniques of how to do this and how to do that is because I am trustworthy. I have a pure heart, meaning that regardless of what I know, I do not have to use it because I am too protected. And I have too much faith in a higher power. And I know how that higher power works for me, works with me. So if I step outside and if I try to take matters into my own hands, I'm going to get it the worst. Because I am fully knowledgeable. And I have taken certain oaths when individuals have chosen me. It's very disrespectful to the teachers, to the mentors, to the individuals who have brought me in. You understand what I'm saying? Because you see, people have a problem. People have had a problem with me for a while. And people want to teach me lessons and all this type of stuff because they believe in one thing and I'm doing something else. So they want to come into my territory and fuck around with stuff, and it never ends well for these people. This has been going on for the last 7 years that I have been watching people take very hard falls. People have lost their businesses. They have lost their relationships. They have lost their children. They have lost their homes. It's very sad for me because why can't you just live and let live? You have so much to prove to me, and you end up getting spanked on that ass, and you have your life to pay for it. And at the end of the day, to where individuals want to hold me responsible for their choices, it gets to a point, because it's kind of like there always comes a point in time to where individuals have the realization, you know what, we should stop. We keep doing this. We keep doing that. It's not working. Shit is happening to us. This is it. And it's kind of like they just keep going. A lot of people are lying. They are habitual liars. So once you tell one lie, you have to tell a million more. They don't want people to know what they have been up to. They don't want people to know that they have been defeated. They don't want people to know that I am the truth, that I am. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I know who the fuck I am. I know what the fuck is going on. So therefore, I know how to address certain things, and I know how to move in the way in which that I need to move. And even when individuals, because I deal with individuals who are more advanced than me too, you know, and the thing is, it's just like, you know, they've had to deal with some serious consequences. So the advice is just to leave it alone. Just stay away from it. If you have a curiosity, if you have a pull towards it, you know, maybe there's some, but the thing is that you have to watch your intention. Because if you want to get into something with ill intention, it's not for you. That is your higher self. That is a big red flag. Your higher self is trying to give to you. If you have a natural curiosity and innocence towards it with no expectation, no intent, then that means that there may be some type of calling that you have within the metaphysical, esoteric realm, we'll say, world. Okay? And even with that, you know, it's kind of like school. And you have to learn certain lessons. You have to learn things. You know, there are deities that are protecting information. And you're always being seen by these deities. So some individuals are being protected by deities as well. Okay? So you have to understand there's always somebody watching what you're doing, what you have going on. God has a whole army. A whole army. It could take out this whole fucking planet. So it's kind of like, just don't try it. Because a lot of, you know, higher consciousness has a very strong, authoritative detachment to unjust. No mercy. No mercy. Okay? So before you think about it, you see this video, listen to what I say, and maybe do some research. Maybe hear other stories. You know, just because you're doing things in the hidden, you have to remember it's manifesting, and it's going to manifest in your physical world. A lot of individuals end up in jail. They end up in psych wards. They end up with a whole bunch of court issues and situations like that. Bad mental health. What else? Permanent, you know, it may be some situations going on with their body, like to where they may become paralyzed. It could even result into death. Okay? So you must understand, just like individuals, when it comes to their religion, people take their religion very seriously. When it comes to practices outside of religions, ways of life outside of religions and traditions, it's the same thing. You may even come to discover, you know, hidden, unbelievable truths about the world, humanity, and yourself. So if you are curious about this life and this lifestyle, you need to go in with a curious and innocent heart. You must be pure. Okay? So, I mean, just like we have corrupt police officers and all that type of stuff, you also have corrupt officials. You have corrupt practitioners. You have, you know, people want that money. They want that money. So we're going to talk about when you get work done on you. So there was a woman that I knew, and she used to get money spells. And the thing is that her practitioner was actually keeping her as she was enslaving her, because there was enough work doing to where this woman would see results, but it was not enough to be able to say that this was a blessing, because a blessing is something in which that, a lot of the times it's something in which that you deserve. It is a gift. It is a surprise. But whenever you begin to manipulate things and intervene or intrude with certain things, then mentally it's manifested in the form of confusion or a mental prison. Meaning that your mind, due to the experience, neuroplasticity, due to this experience, you now are putting faith into giving somebody else control. It's like you're giving them your power. So this woman would go to this practitioner and get these money spells. So like I said, she would give her enough. The thing is that this practitioner was controlling her. It was like a puppet, right? Because it's kind of like, because that woman has seen results, it's real to her. So whenever she runs out of money and she wants money, she's coming back to that practitioner. But she has to pay that practitioner. Okay? So that practitioner has now created a regular customer. Okay? Meaning that she's going to keep that woman in lack mentality to keep her to coming back to her. This woman is now molding her experience in a way to where whenever I need money, I have to go to this woman. And the girl, she was very greedy. She was very greedy when it came to that. She was going to that woman every week. That woman was taking her money every week. That woman was keeping her limited. Okay? But keeping her also with coming back to her. So to where she's keeping that woman limited, that woman is still making sure that she got the money to be able to pay her for more. At first I said to myself, well, that seems like a fair exchange. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the woman is getting what she's asking for, and the practitioner is getting what she's asking for too. But it's the intention. It's intent behind everything when it comes to the craft or manipulation or magic. Intent is the number one thing. Intentions is the number one ingredient. So, sometimes we can do a good deed for an individual, but our intentions for doing it may be wicked, which is what creates a cross of the imbalance of things. But if you're dealing with someone who's coming to you, that woman, if she has ill intent for wanting the money, and the practitioner has ill intent, with, performing that ritual for her, then the situation is balanced. There's no injustice there. So if the woman feels as if she has been taken advantage of, or she feels as if she's, been scammed or bamboozled, no, because the intentions is what balances out the situation. And that's what I'm saying. Some individuals can feel intention, but, most people cannot. So Instead of trying to figure things out, trying to wreck your brain around certain things, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone, because it's not worth it. And I'm going to tell you, people become addicted to this stuff because they begin to see certain things happening. Sometimes they think that they're seeing certain things happening, and it's not. Okay? And it's kind of like a deer in headlights. You're so attracted to that light, and that car is coming towards you. You don't even move until the point to where it's like, it's over. Okay? So I thought I would just come through and put that out, help individuals out a little bit, give them a warning, just kind of let individuals know what's up and what time it is, and to be careful out here. All right, that's my cue. Until next time, we'll talk again.